The Subaru Impreza WRX STI is an absolute motorsport titan. We were all there watching it in 95, 96 and 97 when this brand won 3 manufacturers' championships back to back with this exact car. Not this exact car, they raced the 4-door before, but this is the 2-door, the MY97, the first year they built this car for homologation, which went on to become the 22B. I think it's an absolute legend, but what we're going to do today is discuss those points in detail. We're going to have a look at this wonderful EJ20 turbo engine. We're going to have a look at that old school pre-facelift interior. And lastly, we're going to take this thing for a drive on the road to see whether it is the icon we all want it to be. Let's go for a bit of a drive, guys. Before we jump under the bonnet and have a look at that EJ20 engine, it's worth discussing the 2-door nature of this vehicle and why that may be. In 95 and 96, Subaru dominated and won the manufacturer's title. In 97, the World Rally guys said, you know what, you can enter any rally car you want. It doesn't need to be based off a road car. Subaru responded by building a 2-door version of the Impreza, the ultimate distillation of what is a performance rally car. This went on to become the 22B too. And interestingly, the World Rally people said, you know what guys, you don't have to sell it to customers either. You can just make it, go rallying, win, and call it a day. But for Subaru, they wanted to impress their fans. They wanted their fans to live and breathe their product. So you know what? They sold a few to punters. This is a 97 model, the first 2-door ever built, and they only built 220 odd in this color. It goes to show you that Subaru are legends for building this car, but they also only built a few, making it very, very rare. Let's quickly discuss the powertrain in this car and what makes it absolutely legendary. It's an EJ20 turbo, an engine that Subaru developed in the 1980s that it wanted to go rallying with. It decided to prove its worth and figure out how reliable it is by trying to beat the world endurance record for engines and powertrains in general. How it did that was it ran this powertrain and this engine for 100,000 k's straight over 18 days at an average speed of 220 kilometers an hour. Just figure that for a second. This engine was ran non-stop for 100,000 k's at an average speed of 220 k's. That is almost full tilt, driving flat knacker continuously for 18 days. Imagine the amount of reliability an engine needs to do that. No car brands tested that these days, but it goes to show you how much of a mission Subaru are on to build the most reliable powertrain to beat as many people at rally as possible. And it's true, they won 3 manufacturers' titles with this engine. And this engine also lived on for almost 30 years. It powered the Subaru WRX STI in Japan all the way until 2021. So you can go and buy almost a brand new car with this same engine in it. It goes to show you that nothing beats inherent engineering, and also that this engine is an absolute superstar. So what's the interior like in this 97 Impreza STI? Well, you Subaru anoraks are going to know straight away that this is the OG original dashboard. Subaru built 2 versions of this car, a later Model 1 with a generic square dashboard, and the earlier Model 1 which had this OG original dashboard, which I like a bit more, to be honest. I love the way these window switches protrude off the door. It's a little bit ugly, but it makes them really ergonomic. It's just a nice little touch that I like personally. I love this thin rimmed Nardi steering wheel, no airbag, really easy to grip, it feels motorsport, feels purposeful. Other nice things too, the Type R model, this car we're in, was the only one to get royal blue gauges. So this car has a blue gauge cluster, a bit of WRC there. I like that as well. We've also got some water intercooler sprayers, reminding you that this is a homologation rally car. It's got an automatic mode and a manual mode. The automatic mode sprays water on the intercooler when it gets warm. Again, Colin McRae wanted this in his rally car. Subaru wanted him to win. So all this technology was put in the road car to use on the rally. We've also got this little unassuming jog dial or thumb wheel switch here, which says C-Diff lock. What this is Subaru's DCCD adjustable center diff. What this thing doesn't do is change the bias of the all-wheel drive system. It doesn't do that. What it does do is change the amount of locking that the electromechanical LSD does on top of the regular LSD. So when all the way off, it's got a regular diff, it locks up, it does normal things. You slip it all the way to lock, the LSD locks with greater torque and does more skids with more torque. So basically, if you want to do burnouts, drifting and all this crazy stuff, you use this center diff to make the car lock up all the wheels and bind up hard so it will spin. If you wind it off all the way, it loosens up and lets the inherent LSD do its thing at a regular level. Basically, Subaru put an adjustable Hoon mode in this car in 1997. There you go, pretty cool stuff. If you're wondering what 555 is, 555 is a cigarette brand. Cigarettes used to sponsor motorsport in every form, F1, rally, whatever it was, all through the 80s and 90s. And then millions, if not billions of dollars went to car brands and helped them build cars like this. So there you go. Smoking is really bad. Don't do it, kids. But for motorsport, it makes cars really fast. And on that note, let's take this thing for a bit of a drive. Behind the wheel, the first thing you notice with this car is how bloody agile it is. I spent my life driving later model cars. As you get older, you have kids, you buy later model things that are bigger and heavier, and you jump back into a 90s car like this and instantly the way it changes direction, the way it feels light, nimble and agile, which is just what you want. What is a performance rally car. Another thing I love too is the visibility in this thing. Plenty of modern cars as well, I'll hark back to that point, but it's why we love these nostalgic cars. Modern cars have crappy visibility. The windows are all low, you can't see out of them, everything's far apart, and it just makes them difficult to drive. Whereas this car has unbelievable visibility. You can see out of every corner. You can see down and out. You can figure out how you want to attack the corner. It really makes it the ultimate toge car, this. It's probably why Bunta from Initial D had one. You can see where you're going, you can see where you're going to put the car, and it just makes the overall experience as a road car a bit more fun and a bit more, you just want to get up it and drive it hard. One thing you'll notice too, it's actually quite firm, this car. It is fully original, 42,000 Ks, never been modified. And the ride quality is pretty hard, to be honest. It's quite firm, it's quite bumpy, it's very unforgiving. It doesn't have much suspension travel for what feels like what is a rally car, which is quite interesting, but this is the road car version, so I guess it's meant to be a bit of a dial thing on the street. Something else I love is that sound. I knock it down a gear, stock exhaust, you still get that Subaru rumble once it winds up. Gee, this engine's got some good top end too. It loves to wind out all the way. Got a couple of corners here now, so I might bang it into third. Yeah, I love this car. I love the way it feels. I love the way it feels at low speed. It feels just enjoyable to drive, and it feels like you're doing something. Again, this engine is a star up top. You put the boot into it, let the thing rev out, grab fourth. It's such a good motor. It loves to rev all the way up to 7,000 RPM. I really enjoy how it feels. Just feels electric and alive. I personally owned a Tommy Mackinnon for quite a while, an Evolution 6. I dailied it every day, it had similar case to this. I drove it to work every day, rain, hail and shine, because I just loved the way it drove. And I've got to say, this thing is bloody close. It's almost there. I've also had the chance to drive a 22B as well, and I really love that thing. And honestly, this car doesn't feel that much dissimilar to a 22B either. All right, we've got a good road here, so we can give it a bit of a blat up and through the gears, give it some love in first. Second gear, gearbox is so tight. Third gear grabs really nice too. It's an unbelievable car. It's tight, it feels buttoned down. And I really, really enjoy driving it. You can see from the smile on my face. I've driven so many cars in the 90s. GTRs, RX-7s, Nissan Z cars. I've owned a lot of them too for over 10 years. And I've got to say, this one has escaped me for quite some time. I haven't had the opportunity to drive a Type R two-door GC8. And I've got to say, I've been missing out. It's bloody fantastic. The combination of that exotic powertrain, what it stands for, the reliability, the two-door body type, this tightness in the controls, direct steering, direct shifter, everything just feels natural. The great visibility is quite a unique experience, and it's definitely going to make this car a cult classic moving forward into the later years. If you've got a means to buy a WRX STR, I reckon get one. And if you're going to get one, get a two-door Type R like this. Get the real deal, because honestly, there isn't much that compares to how bloody good this car is. What a lot of fun that was. So to answer this question, is the Subaru Impreza STR going to be a bona fide modern classic? I reckon the answer is yes. The way it feels on the road, exceptional. The powertrain, genuine prowess there. And just look at it, in two-door form in yellow, it looks stunning too. So there you go, great to drive, great to look at, likely going to be a classic. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Enjoy the view in the meantime.